We're here to talk about Hangout apps. Hangout apps being the next generation of social apps. My name is Jonathan Beri. I'm a developer advocate working on Google and Google Hangout apps. I'll be joined shortly by some of my colleagues, Julia and Wolf. But before I begin, I want to talk a little bit about Hangouts. So in the audience, not the live stream, who's been in a Hangout? All right, awesome. Who's had Hangout with their family? Strangers? Bosses? All right. Drinking? No? OK, sorry. Hangouts are a new medium of communication. They're bringing people together in ways that telecommunication hasn't done in the past. It's a rich, immersive experience, multi-user, 10 people at a time, conversing, coming, going, meeting, shaking hands virtually. And it's actually a transformative medium. It's making things happen that was not possible before. I'll give you an example. Daria Musk was a small-time performer in the forest of Connecticut, doing random gigs in New York whenever she could. She first heard about Google and got on, saw a stream, and started meeting people. And then she saw Hangouts. And as a performer, she thought, you know what if I did a concert? I know there's not a lot of people on here yet. It's new, but let's just see what happens. I'll open it up to public and start singing. Within the first hour, she actually overloaded our systems. And we had to go behind the scenes and reconfigure, because there's such a interest in listening to Daria Musk perform. She went on for 6 hours, and from this small-town girl performing in New York's bars to a global success. Not only was she able to sing and engage with the audience, she can talk directly to the people in the Hangout. It's a way you can connect that you could never really connect before on a global stage. So it turns out Hangouts are really good at bringing people together. And when people come together, they want to laugh, they want to joke, they want to cry. But they also want to do stuff together. They want to collaborate, they want to build, they want to think. And that's where Hangout apps come in. Hangout apps allow third-party developers to create applications that are inside the Hangout experience that extend the conversation. Now, what makes Hangout apps unique, just besides being inside of this video system, is the fact that they can be real-time, they're people-centric, and they have the access to the rich media that you can integrate within your application. Now let me actually stop talking about Hangout apps and start showing you Hangout apps. So here I'm in the standard Hangout, and Wolf's is the big screen. Say hi, Wolf. And Julia is actually in the back.
Hi.
Wolf, I think you're on mute. So let me load up an app. So what you see here is a Hangout app running. Above the film strip and below the menu bar is the real estate for a Hangout app. Essentially, it's an iframe. You can do whatever you want with it. Of course, we have APIs that you can integrate, which I'll show in a second. Now, here's the idea we had. We're having a lot of fun at South by Southwest. We're working hard. And we decided, what can we do to stay longer at South by? So the film event is coming up. Let's submit a film into that. We're going to actually use the Hangouts and Hangout apps to collaboratively build a film together so we can get it done in record time so we can actually party more. I mean, work more. So this is actually a Google Earth plugin. If you haven't seen it, it's a really cool plugin. It's using our 3D map data. I can zoom around the world. But for this movie, we need to first start with filming locations. So guys, do you have any ideas of where we should film?
Well, let's see. Coming from San Francisco, I say let's check that out.
I think we want to make a documentary about bears. So I'm going to look for Yellowstone Park.
Well, since I'm in Austin, I think I'm going to go there. So as you can see, Julia has already put some pins on. I just put a pin on. And what we're demonstrating is the social piece to Hangout apps. This is a shared experience, and our applications take advantage of that and build that into. You'll also see that I can see what the pins they're doing. That's because we have an API that makes real-time apps possible. We call that the shared state. The shared state is pretty flexible, too. It's not just putting pins in the Google Earth. We can do a lot more with it. To demonstrate, I'm going to actually start following Julia. And what I'm doing is moving in sync with what she's seeing on her laptop over there. So when she pans around, it moves my globe around. And this is not a screen share. This is the actual application updating in response to what she's doing. So to explain that a little bit further, I'm going to explain how the API works. Let me get out of full screen. Let me get out of full screen. There we go. Finally. All right. So this is a representation of the 3 different apps we have running on our respective machines. There's Julia, Wolf, and I. In the bottom, there's a box. This represents the shared state. It's kind of like a data store. And it's where we store the information that we pass around. So there's application code that calls the API on Julia's machine that says, hey, I'm at the US. This is the lat long positions. And the API passes that to our shared state. And it's stored there. Simple JavaScript call to send that over. You don't have to do crazy posts or deal with cross-browser issues. The API handles that for you. Now, almost instantly, the back end sends that information to all the app instances. So we have 3 here. If we had 10, all 10 people inside the Hangout would have that same information. Again, because it's our API, you don't have to build this real-time backend, a pub subsystem, dealing with set up backend servers for this piece. It just happens naturally. Also, you'll notice that it goes to Julia as well. It actually goes to everybody, so you don't have to deal with figuring out who sent what message. It just gets propagated. Now we just have a bit of application code that says, hey, Google Earth, go to that new location, and we're synchronized. And it's that simple. It's about 5 lines of code, 10 lines of code, all in JavaScript. So now back to our movie, because we really want to stay. I'm going to load up the second app that we put in. And that's. So guys, I don't think we have a good handle on where we're going to shoot. What can we do next?
We can maybe look for some costumes to use during this movie.
Awesome. So we're in this costume app, and it's going to help us try on different things. So the first thing you'll notice is I can pick any one of these guys and move my head around. This is kind of silly, but what it's doing is using our media APIs. So we have an overlay API that you can attach objects to and track head movements. I think Wolf is demonstrating that it pans with you. You can also resize, like Julia has a jumbo mustache. And you can also reposition. Now, these are not canned images. These are actually ones we've drawn and uploaded to the system and overlaid through the API. So you can do whatever your creativity lets you do. So to prove that, we can even draw an overlay. So forgive my artistic skills on a trackpad, but I'm going to draw a crown or a Bart Simpson hat, however you want to interpret it. And I'm going to wear it. Oh, that's. And we're just taking advantage of some of the HTML5 features that will be talked about a little bit later today. And it's powerful. And this is fun. This is a toy. But this actually has real-world applications. For example, if you're building a Hangout app that's a game, the high score might have a number that floats up, or a crown if they just beat the level. But if you're doing a productivity app and you want to identify who's the current color on the project plan, you can identify that with a little ID at the bottom. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news with all this fun, but I don't think we have budget or time to fly or build all these costumes. Is there any way we can stay at South by Southwest? Wolf, we can't hear you. What was that?
I think maybe we can do an animated movie. What do you think, Jonathan?
Ah, yeah. I'm pretty sure we built in animated features too.
Oh, that's great. That's a great idea. Okay.
Oh, there we are. Since I've been drinking a lot of cheap beer, I don't know about you guys, but PBR has been rolling deep for me. So I'm going to grab this PBR. Oh, wait a second. I got it. That's my animated character. I'm a hipster.
Oh man, but you've totally already sold out as a hipster. I mean, I gotta do that before they sold out with my blue pigtails and all.
Awesome. And Wolf is miming, but I think he wanted to be a bear from the beginning with the bear documentary. So, as you notice, the mouths are moving, and that's actually using our other audio-video APIs. So our animated characters responding to the volume of my voice. There's a simple callback API that triggers an event that animates that mouth. And we'll say something as if you're a mime again, and he's growling.
Growl.
All right, cool. I think we're going to have to do this animated film. We just don't have the time for it. Now, this has been a mix of useful with productivity, as in using Google Earth, as well as playfulness. We can go in either direction. You can build a full-fledged game. So as part of the film, we built this little game to represent combining all this stuff together. So let's go to the load this app. So here's the premise. We've been working really hard on these demos. We were coding late at the Googleplex, and we lost track of time. The doors are locked. We can't get out. And we really need to get to South by Southwest so I can give this talk. So we're going to try to figure out a way how we can get out of the Google headquarters and get to Austin. The whole purpose is to get into one of our self-driving cars. So I think I'll be the hipster, going with the theme. And here I am.
I think I'm gonna. I really dig these blue pigtails. I'm gonna go for the girl here.
Awesome.
And we know Wolf's love of bears, so yep,
there you go.
It is.
So first thing I'm demonstrating here is that same shared state that we used to synchronize the globe. We're actually synchronizing our positions. So if you're sitting by Julia, you'd probably see me walking around, and she's actually moving her character around her virtual world. So to demonstrate that, we have a little debugger. Why don't you guys move around? So this information is what's being stored in the shared state. It's just strings with positions and some other metadata. And we've also carried over the audio API effect. So our mouths are still animated, and that we have a little debugger for that too. This represents the volume of my mic and the others' mics, and that's what our animated character is responding to. Again, that's just a simple hook into the API. Now, hey guys, do you have any ideas how we can get out of here?
Well, I've heard that we can map our way out of here, but we kind of need to know where we are, right?
Oh, let me go over to the kiosk. Do a little Google search. Boom. Whoa. Sensitive. I think we're in Mountain View, so let me look for Mountain View.
That sounds like a good start.
I'm feeling lucky. All right, so let me double click and zoom in, and it did.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa, Wolf, where'd you go? Boom. All right. I guess we found one way out.
Wolf has really good aim.
How are you in the Hangout, but also in the car? I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
You know, Jonathan, I'm really thirsty after that. That was really stressful. So I'm going to get a soda.
Sure. I'll grab a Mentos or something.
Yeah. Let's just take a break and figure out the next steps.
Hey, wait a second. Mentos? Diet Coke? Do you know what I'm thinking?
I think I'm thinking what you're thinking. I think I need to strap this absurdly large bottle of Diet Coke to my back. Like a rocket. Oh, yeah.
Bet you there'll be a lot of fuel in that. OK, so if I just splash in some Mentos.
Yep.
Boom! Wait. Are you there? Did you get in the car? Oh.
Whoa!
And that was fun.
Ow.
All right. So I'm the last man standing. I need to get out. How do I get out of here? There's got to be, I don't know, like a door or something that we don't know about.
I think that's a door probably should have been our first guess, but you think you should try it out?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll use the search. Let's see, door. think we have one of those. Oh, that's great. Open Sesame. Did it work? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Oh, there we go. Now we're off to Austin. Dum dum dum. Okay. Well, that was fun, right? It was playful, and that shows some of the lighter sides of Hangout apps. But the Hangout apps can kind of go across the entire spectrum. Since it's really an iframe for you to work and integrate with into, as developers, you can do everything from productivity apps to music collaboration apps to research and discovery, but of course games too. The Hangout apps, because they're social, because they're real-time, and because they have access to this media that brings people together, it's a new generation of social apps. This is also a new frontier. We're in developer preview, and we're working our way towards out of that. So you can be first on board to bring your apps inside of a Hangouts. And I think that's it. 1 second. Sorry, my final slide. I didn't go into any code today. So we have a code lab in the afternoon that you'll actually build. You sit down in 3 hours. You can, by the end, you should have our canned app and anything that you can come up with. We'll go through the nitty-gritty of code, answer questions, go through demos, and you'll become Hangout app ninjas. And then finally, our developer site has the documentation that you need to research if you're on the live stream, and that's developers.google.com/plus, as in the plus symbol, and Hangouts. And those are our Hangout Google Plus profile links. So you can circle us. Some more questions.
Great, thank you, Jonathan. And we're going to actually have YouTube come up and start plugging in their laptop while you bring down yours, and we answer a few questions. And we have a question from the internet.